sure, guys, the video you're about to watch is a trending video showing moment some white men in a strange helicopter landed in Nigeria in a bush, bringing out some bags which are seen to be weapons, and you could see these bad terrorists, going to the helicopter and offloading some things from the helicopter. Honestly, this is strange. So this video has been trending and I felt I should share it with you guys. Just take your time and watch this video. Drop your honest reaction in the comment section below, so you can see so many things are unfolding since the US came out to say that the US aid is being used to fund terrorism. And we've seen an ex-minister who came out to say that, villagers told them that strange helicopters, strange airplane were coming to their community, bringing arms, bringing currencies, bringing food to all these terrorists. And, they gave them that tip-off, but they did not take it seriously. And you can imagine what damage that has caused the nation today. Anyway, without much talking, just take a look for yourself.
I served on that committee, and villagers kept telling us that in the middle of the night, helicopters piloted by white people kept landing and offloading guns, goods, and all kinds of and money to these people. Now, villagers they don't even know who these white people are. And they have no reason to lie to us. Now, we made a mistake. When I said we, some of us on the Bökö Häräm committee made a mistake. We thought it was the French that were doing this. Now we have an American congressman said, no, it was the Americans who were doing this. And when you then add that to the Obama administration refusing to sell weapons to us, to Nigeria, on the grounds that we had human rights violations in the way we were dealing with Bökö Häräm, not in the way we were dealing with ordinary Nigerians where there were no security issues. Then we got a plane that was going to go and buy weapons in South Africa. Someone tipped off the South Africans. It wasn't a Nigerian who tipped off the South Africans. Who tipped off the South Africans? You have to come to a conclusion that it has to be a power that had access to information that was able to do that. No, please,
I just wanted to ask something. Did the villagers identify the people dropping the weapons as Americans? That's just all I want to ask. Did the villagers also tell you that, they were Americans, they spoke English? I just want to identify that, sir. Did the villagers also identify them as Americans?
I just told you. Now, Rufa, if you are not going to listen to me, I will stop talking so you can continue doing the talking. I have said so. I said the villagers knew these were white people. And I said we who were on that committee made the mistake of thinking they were French. But now it is an American congressman who's telling us that it was the Americans who did this. And you're asking me whether the villagers told us they were Americans. The villagers who don't know French from Americans, from British, they just knew that these were white people.
Right.
And they not only did that, they also penetrated our armed forces. Because behind the scene, our boys will tell us that there were times when they will have Bökö Häräm people in the sight of their guns, and they will now ask their headquarters for permission to open fire, only for their superior officers to tell them to pull back and not open fire. That shows the extent to which there was penetration and destabilization of our own security forces. Now, who will do this? Who will destabilize our security forces? There were Nigerians also who were involved. And this is where I'm going to be careful. I'm not going to mention names, but people who were going to the United States, who were leading delegations to the United States during this period. Our ambassador there, unfortunately, is dead now, but he wrote reports about the activities of these Nigerians, some of them governors, who were involved with the State Department and who were also involved with the White House and what they were doing. Now, who were the people who organized trips for Hillary Clinton and Kerry? Who will ignore Abuja and fly over Abuja to go and hold meetings with political operatives in parts of Nigeria without clearance with our own ASO Rock and our own foreign office?
Okay,
right,
Prof.
Hillary Clinton and Jerkana were American officials.
Prof, can I have a follow-up?
Yes.
Prof, and I have a right to ask questions as a journalist because
yes,
I don't have a dog in this fight. I just want the truth. That's just it.
And neither do I.
And my point is, let us investigate. But I also want facts. And that's why I deliberately did ask you that question. when you say you are putting 2 and 2 together, you must be able to give an empirical tedious link. That's just my point. That's why I asked you that question pointedly. Did the villagers say the people they saw were Americans? And you said no, they said they saw white people. My second question is, who are the Nigerians? And what did that report say about them and what they were doing in the White House? And why did that report not come to light? Because, in all fairness, Prof, it's unfair for us to come here and say we don't want to mention names for a Bökö Häräm insurgency that has killed a lot of people. It's very unfair to the memories of our troops that are dead and people that are dying and lives have been destroyed. So if that report was out, why didn't that report get out there so that we can see the facts in that report written? And what are the names of these people that were meeting this top American hierarchy? And what are also the names of those people that infiltrated the military and that said our troops should not shoot at this Bökö Häräm? We just want facts. I don't have a dog in this fight. I just want facts as a journalist. And we have a right to what facts are and the truth is. That's why I asked my question, Prof. So I don't have a bone, I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm just after the facts.
Rufai, I agree with you. Neither do I. I also don't have a dog in this fight. I'm just a Nigerian, just like you. Now, if you take the newspapers during the period when Jonathan was in power, you will find the names and pictures of Nigerians in high places who were visiting Washington, pictures taken in the White House, pictures taken in the State Department. You will find those pictures. They are not hidden. And I cannot now go and look for those newspapers and hold up the newspapers, but those pictures are there. And in any case, if you Google Nigerians visiting Washington, governors, they are not unknown people, governors. And some of them are in the Senate, some of them are even who are occupying higher offices, who were visiting Washington. Not twice. Those pictures are available, so they are not top secret.
All right. Okay.
So really, and I'm not really. If I'm going to write, a piece, then I will go and look for those pictures and look for those reports.
All right, thank you so much, Prof. And first of all, let me start by saying congratulations on your recent appointment as chairman of the Governing Council of the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs. Congratulations. But let me ask you, just as we probe further with regards to the funding, recall that in a recent interview with another news station, international news station, the Chief of Defense Staff had actually said that they believe that there was some complicity with some international organizations. He wasn't just able to identify. What he had said was that some non-governmental organizations, because their findings revealed that some of these captured Bökö Häräm insurgents had foreign currencies on them. He questioned how they could, where they got their training from, how he had been sustained for many years. And even though there had been talks around local funders, there were also now implications of foreign funders. So that's just something to consider. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. And then in the event that it is found out, because a call for investigation has been made, that this allegation, it's an allegation currently by the congressman, but they should investigate further to understand what really happened. In the event that USAID is found to have funded, what would be the next steps? What are the options for Nigeria? And then what can we begin to do with regards to that relation?
Thank you, Ayo. Look, in this murky world of intelligence, secret service, what have you, you will never get the truth unless documents are declassified. That's what they call deep state operations. All I can tell you is, when I was serving on that Bökö Häräm committee, there were things we were told, which I even found alarming. But as I said, my focus was on the French, because it is the French that have had this tradition of trying to destabilize Nigeria. Dollars that were found on these Bökö Häräm people. There was an episode where a helicopter crashed in one of these northern states. And it was plenty of dollars that were scattered all over the place. Now, that doesn't mean that was the Americans who were on that plane, because there are so many organizations who use the dollar. And I will not be surprised if various security or intelligence organizations or people who are involved in all these dark shade operations will use the dollar to cover their tracks and so on. So it does not mean, and that's why I didn't jump immediately that it's the Americans who were up to this until this congressman said it. Now, if I'm not going to believe the congressman about operations, and this is a congressman who has access to their own data, he may have his own motive for what he's saying and for what he's doing and for why he's saying this. But if I'm not going to believe him, and on the grounds of that, we then end up with, we don't know. Well, if we don't know, then who will we believe? Then even when we say documents that are declassified, how are we even sure that whoever wrote those documents is telling the truth? You see, we are not going to get 100% certainty when you are dealing with intelligence operatives and what they are putting down on paper, some trying to cover their tracks, some trying to implicate, the others. As regards to your question, what do we do now? Believe me, and this is the most depressing part of this, there is nothing we can do. You are dealing with a superpower whose tentacles spread all over the world. I'm not saying this about Americans alone. I'm saying this about MI6, the British. I'm saying this about the French. I'm saying this about the Chinese. All these are superpowers whose tentacles are global and spread all over the world. There's nothing you can do about them. You put out one candle. Do you know how many candles that there are? How many of them are operating? Is the one that you know that you focus on, but there are others, many others. Earlier on, they were talking about Chile. What happened to Allende in Chile? Now, even right now, as we are talking, Venezuela is still the target of, the deep state, American deep state operations in Latin America. And if you are not careful, don't believe that, when, what's his name, Trump decides to target a particular country, he will only do it on the pages of the newspaper. They are not talking about the CIA. So if you shut down the operations of USAID, the CIA is there, the National Security Agency is there, they are all involved.
All intertwined in this operation.
Destabilizing countries.
Yes. Good morning, Prof. This is Anthony Killer here. Good morning, Prof. Good morning,
Prof.
Yes, good morning, sir. As you teach us international relations, we look at interest and influence, and then we try to tie that and deduce a lot of things, the cardinal points, interest and influence. For the purpose of viewers, what is the interest of superpowers, be it the USA, be it France, or any other white or any other color country, to finance Bökö Häräm? Let's have a sort of theoretical approach on it. What is their interest to finance Bökö Häräm?
I believe it is Nigeria that they are trying to destabilize and use any agency that comes or that they can create. you know, in my, I attended a conference once in Washington, and it came up that no country in the global north wants a black country to become a superpower, because it will affect the domestic
dynamic
racial conundrum that they themselves are facing. It happened to Nkrumah, and Nigeria. If Nigeria makes it, recall, because it's not just me. Recall what Mandela said, that until Nigeria makes it, there is no country with a black race that will make it in this world. So Nigeria had been a target before we even became independent. And that's why even the British arranged the handing over power to, if you like, the least developed part of Nigeria, and picked an elite that they think they can control.
Remarkable.
That is even before we became independent. As far back as 1945, the British had decided who they will hand over power to. And it's not the Azikiwes or the Awolowos or the Mbadiwes or the Okparas that they picked upon, because they knew they couldn't control those people. And so to that extent, you see, they learned their lesson when India under Nehru managed to escape their control. They learned their lesson, that from then on, any of their countries, any of their colonies that is going to become independent, they have to ensure that the person they're handing over power to is the person they can control, so that they can continue to control those countries. And Nigeria had been a target. So I can't answer why they picked on Boko Haram. Honestly, I can't. I haven't given a thought. Why Boko Haram?
Yeah.
Okay. Prof, you see, as a journalist, my job is facts. I eat and sleep facts. Again, I've gone through the newspaper article of the 12 governors in the north that went to America, and they talked about how they were going to, get more aid for development of their region and all of that. This was, in fact, some of the key personnel that are part of the governors then are in higher positions today in the country. I'm happy you made mention of the Salvador Allende case. I could only speak to the case because they were declassified documents by the perpetrators of the action based on what they did with ITT sponsoring the newspaper outfit called El Mercurio in Chile against Salvador Allende. And also there were valid court deposition from the families of General Schneider, the general that was killed leading up to the assumption of office by Augusto Pinochet in Chile. I have facts to that. Based on all of this, can we get a Nigerian intelligence report? Because, okay, let's say the West might be biased, they will not show us the link. At least we should have some internal reports that might have been able to prove this link. Because, yes, we can say speculations. We've talked about the Leahy laws. But a lot of people will argue with you, Prof, that America too had also used the Leahy laws on a couple of, other people. You talked about the case of South Africa, we're trying to buy weapons and all of that. Some people will argue with you, yes, that was also the case, but also Nigeria finally also got those weapons, from other sources. In fact, based on your argument, when we extended the date of the election in 2015, we made some stride in clearing Boko Haram, and elections were held in those areas. So all I just want is that, is there any report I can hold on to? as regards this activity of the United States? All I'm just after is a fact. Is there maybe like a Nigerian intelligence report we can quote?
Rafael, yes, I accept that as a journalist you go after facts. As a scholar, I'm also interested in getting my hands on facts. However, the theory of rational thinking means in the absence of facts, when you are dealing with intelligence operations, you can make deduction. And from those deductions, you can come to conclusions that even you will come to while you are dealing with facts. I think that is the difference between you and I. During this period, the northern governors were not talking only about getting aid for development. They were even accusing Jonathan of the one who was, for his own electoral purposes, building up Bökö Häräm.
Yes.
They were making that kind of, allegations.
All right.
And, one knows.
All right.
And at the end of the day, Jonathan got a security organization from South Africa,
all right,
who almost fought Bökö Häräm who almost defeated them.
Okay.
But when Buhari came to power, he asked the South African military security organization to disengage. Again, all these are facts that are in the press.
All right. Okay, thank you so much, Prof. And
yes,
thank you for your time with us this morning. But before we let you go, we cannot but talk about Pa Adebanjo, whom we lost as a nation on Friday, 14th of February, early hours of the morning. I don't know if you had a relationship with him, but I'm sure you must have paid attention to his works over the years as a journalist, as a lawyer, as an activist, as a nation builder. And I don't know if you have a few things to say about him this morning before we wrap up.
No, thank you. Oh, yes, of course, I had a relationship with Pa Adebanjo, a fighter, a warrior to the end. He's a man who didn't mince words. And if you are going to a battle, that's the kind of a person you want on your side. He didn't mind whom he confronted as long as he believed in what he was doing. He was, what came to my mind, if you don't mind my saying this in Yoruba, people will say, who said that? I heard somebody say Yoruba. Erinwo ajanokusun beole. I mean, that's an iroko that are just falling in our political scene. He was a very brave man. If you want to know what bravery is, come to Papa Adebanjo. He fought the fight, he fought the battle, and he's going to rest. And, we wish him, he deserved the rest. I have a lot of respect for him, and so must everybody, whether you agree with him or not. Courage was his alternative name.
Thank you so much for paying tribute.
So guys, you can see that all what we've been saying are turning out to become the reality. I mean, if Donald Trump had not won this election, if Donald Trump had not appointed Elon Musk, if David Hundeyin had not gone ahead to write Elon Musk telling him that, see, Mr. Man, a lot of money is coming into Nigeria, even after Trump's inauguration. Without Trump's knowledge, they've been channeling so much into Nigeria. And you need to see the people this money is ending up into their hands in the name of NGOs and all that. So finally, we are beginning to understand that, honestly, the insecurity that is ravaging Africa, the West has a hand in it. They have a hand in it, and they will still be the one to condemn us and tell us that we are a terrorist-ruled country, we are this, we are that. They will be the ones to still condemn us, but they are still the ones funding it. They are still the ones empowering these guys. So you can imagine if this video is actually a reality of what happened in this country. So we don't even have any need, you know, budgeting for insecurity in this country, because it appears we like what is happening, we like the money we are spending, we like all this thing. Because guess what, there's no way the federal government will come out to say they don't know all these things happening in the nation. I don't think there's a way the federal government will say that all these things that we are seeing today are strange to them. So you can see that directly or indirectly they are part and parcel of all this, and that is why Nigerians must stand strong and tall, you know, to say that we cannot continue this way. We cannot continue this way. You see what insecurity is costing Nigeria. We know how much is being budgeted for security in this country, but at the end of the day, you still find out that insecurity seems not to have any ending, because that's exactly what they are telling us, that it cannot be eradicated. It cannot be eradicated. It's because it's a man-made thing. You know, some people are liking it. We've been told that it's $1 billion industry. So some people are definitely liking it to the detriment of Nigerians. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others. And drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.